On this edition of the Iowa Business Report,
one I think we really want is to arrest these bad actors and put them in jail.
Increasing fraud awareness, especially in business. 'Tis the season for scammers to target individuals as well. And in our business profile, we'll reintroduce you to a business that uniquely customizes its products to meet customer needs. This is the Iowa Business Report for the fourth weekend of November 2025.
The Iowa Business Report is a copyrighted production of Totally Iowa Media, which is solely responsible for its content. For more, click on the radio programs button at totallyiowa.com. Here is Jeff Stein.
This is International Fraud Awareness Week. The Office of the Iowa Secretary of State handles business filings and records and is on the front line of preventing businesses from being victims of fraud. Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate explains.
I'm a big believer. We've got one of the greatest states in the country. I love Iowa. People are special. But sadly, we still have bad actors who try to take advantage. And that's part of what International Fraud Awareness Week's about. It's just reminding Iowans to be a little more alert, because the reality is 90% of the businesses in the state are small businesses. These are your friends and your neighbors. This is Main Street. These folks you know and you trust. But we got some bad ones out there who just take advantage of us. And the statistics are alarming for what we're seeing out there. We saw $52 million that was lost by Iowans alone through financial fraud in 2024. That's the tip of the iceberg, because a lot of people don't report it. Maybe I got scammed for $50 or $20. I'm not going to call the police. I'm ticked off, but I'm moving on. But others might be $1,000 or more. And even they may be uncomfortable with letting the world know I got conned. So again, the tip of the iceberg. And then you get into the whole cyber world, which is huge. The FBI, I think, was talking about a $72 million loss alone there. This is real money. These folks are taking advantage of good Iowans. And for me, it comes to land because we registered these companies in Iowa, and we want to make sure that they're in good standing. We want to make sure that they're legitimate. We've seen in recent years, one example is that they're forming corporations and then they're registering them in the name of some innocent person in your neighborhood. You, Jeff, they could say, hey, XYZ cookie company, you're the guy, and whatever devious reasons, this can't be a legitimate one because I don't know why they would do it. They're doing these kinds of things. And then you get notices from my office or vendors saying, when are you going to pay me? And you're going like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. This is frustrating. And we don't have the tools right now legally to do much about it. So I'm going to be asking the legislature to step in and give us the ability to be more aggressive on that front. That's one example. But you and I know, and I don't want to preach to your listeners because they're smart, sophisticated listeners, but don't give out your personal information. Don't tell them your social security number or your bank account numbers. Don't give them that information. No legitimate person is going to be calling you on the phone or emailing you to ask for that stuff, particularly government. The IRS does not email you and ask for your checking account information. Let's not let ourselves fall into those traps. So as part of this awareness week, I want them to know they can go to our website, the sos.iowa.gov/protectyourbusiness. There's some tips there for them, and that'll help them out. But most importantly, if you think you're getting ripped off, call the police. Call the police right away. They'll sort it out, whether it should be FBI, Attorney General's office, or whoever should be the one involved. But get them involved immediately, because it gives the rest of these businesses a black eye too. The legitimate ones, our friends and neighbors.
If someone's walking down the street and a bad guy or gal comes up and steals their wallet and runs away, takes money right out of their pocket,
right,
you wouldn't think twice about calling the police. But when it's done in this manner, when it's more devious, we think that we're at fault, and so we're ashamed and we don't want to report it. Well, these are very sophisticated bad actors anymore, aren't they?
Well, they are, and a lot of them are basing their operations on volume. So they're not going in for the big scam. Example, they'll mail you a case of light bulbs and then give you a bill, a ridiculous bill, and you pay it. It was a scam, and they make money. Things like that. And if you decided not to do anything about it, or you weren't going to pay them, they're out some cheap light bulbs. But the scam continues, is my point. And they do this all the time, and it's just getting very, very excessive in so many ways. And with this day and age of people being able to go to TikTok or something like that and basically learning real quickly how to scam people, they're teaching you how to do it. This is something that we have to be more on guard and be more preventative. And that's why partnering with the Bankers Association and the National Federation of Independent Business, the Better Business Bureau, the Chambers of Commerce, those organizations, we're constantly wanting to let consumers know what to look for. And it's not like a commercial. Shop local. If you're looking at that merchant across the counter, you know who they are and you know you're dealing with. We see a lot of international stuff going on. They're doing everything they can to try to get into your pocket. What's the old saying? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't true. Mm-hmm. But those are just some of the things we bump into. And some of these frauds are as old as the light bulb being created, because you got guys going door to door who are telling you they're representing a certain entity and you need to pay something. Again, don't fall into that groove. You're always welcome to confirm by calling and confirming who these folks are. So there's a lot of other ways we can help protect the consumer.
These folks who set up a business entity in the state of Iowa, you go to sos.iowa.gov and look through the business database like people do to see who the contact people are. And that's the first some of these people know that they're associated with this scam business.
It is. And put yourself in, if you're someone who's not into the business world and you're getting a notice from my office, because when you incorporate, we send a notice out saying, hey, great, we're glad you want to be an Iowa company. You get it and you go, well, I don't know what this is. A lot of them treat it as trash, throw it away, because not me. But when they start getting the second and third notice from somebody else, maybe inquiring about their credit or something like that, now they're concerned and they want to know what they did. And now they're worried that they might be financially obligated to something. So it gets very concerning. And this is an instance that we see pop up around the state. And the most recent one was, we happened to happen in West Des Moines area. We had several there who were being done. Now, be very candid about it. I really don't know what these bad actors are doing with it, but it can't be good. There's no reason to be doing it the way they're doing it. And they do credit card fraud as well. These are all things that fold into it. So there's bits and pieces like that. And when you look at over 300,000 businesses that file with my office a year, those are mostly good people. They're all legitimate people. So, but there's a few bad apples out there can really mess it up for the rest. Part of this International Fraud Awareness Week is, let's just take care of protecting ourselves. I use the analogy, would you hand your car keys over to a perfect stranger? When people do internet business, don't hand over your personal information if you don't know who they are.
You don't hand your wallet to somebody on the street with your driver's license, your security number, your credit cards, etc. But right. we apparently think online's okay.
Yeah. And I also, a personal appeal, I know it can be somewhat maybe time consuming or embarrassing to have to acknowledge I got flim-flammed. But what you'll do by telling law enforcement is it helps us stop the next person from getting flim-flammed. Yes, it's hard for us sometimes to catch the bad guy when they do, particularly when they do online stuff, but we can stop them before they do it. And that's our first major step, stopping them before they do it. Secondly, hopefully you can maybe get some of the money back if it's early enough in the process. And the last one is one I think we really want, is that's arrest these bad actors and put them in jail. But the first one is really the goal we've got to really strive for. Let's just stop them in their tracks.
You're going to be working with the legislature to try to elevate prevention of fraud. What are some of the things specifically that we might be hearing about as the next legislative session gavels in?
Well, the specific one to my office is giving us the ability to make some inquiries right away. If you get a letter from me saying you formed a company and you go, no, I didn't, well, we then can engage by making an inquiry and determining this is a fraudulent company. Let's get them off the books right away, as quick as possible. Right now, that is a very prolonged process that goes on to get that done. That's a big step. The other is we're starting conversations with partners, like I mentioned, the Better Business Bureau, the NFIBs, the Bankers Association, those guys, trying to determine what are we missing, what can we do more of. And we have a lot of legislators interested in this. So I think through that roundtable approach, you're going to have a lot more discussion on steps we can take. But the biggest one is going to be education and awareness.
Paul Pate is Iowa's Secretary of State. More online at sos.iowa.gov/protectyourbusiness. We spoke via Zoom on Friday, November 14th. Still to come, preventing consumer fraud. And later, another use for Iowa's top crop. You're listening to the Iowa Business Report. It wouldn't be Christmas without Camp Courageous fruitcakes, and they're now available in stores across Iowa and at campcourageous.org/fruitcakes. Camp Courageous fruitcakes are generously filled with cherries, nuts, pineapple, coconut, and just the right amount of cake batter to hold it all together. Best of all, proceeds go to support Camp Courageous near Monticello, Iowa. For a list of stores or to order online, go to campcourageous.org/fruitcakes. Do you know the signs of business fraud? Don't let bad actors catch you off guard. Stay vigilant for cases of imposter scams, financial fraud, business identity theft, and cyber attacks. It starts with recognition. Learn how to identify signs of fraud and where to report it. Visit sos.iowa.gov/protectyourbusiness to get started. This message is presented by the Iowa Secretary of State. Welcome back to the Iowa Business Report. I'm Jeff Stein. The Consumer Protection Division of the Office of the Iowa Attorney General gets especially busy this time of year with complaints from citizens about scams. Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird told me about the problem and ways for you to avoid being a victim.
It really does seem like there's an uptick around the holidays where some of those scammers and con artists are trying to take advantage of people. You know, one thing to be on the lookout for, all of us love getting a present in the mail, a special gift or a little something from our family that we can't see in person, maybe a friend. But one of the scams to look out for is folks will get a text or an email that says there's a failed delivery or it's an order confirmation, and that Amazon or some other company, maybe even UPS, wants to deliver something, but they just need some more details. That's a way the scammers are trying to get private information from you, because everybody wants to get a present. We all do. And they think that around this time of the year, we might be expecting that, fruitcake in the mail or a little present from one of our relatives. So they take advantage of it.
And again, it's an idea of attacking the most vulnerable, isn't it? I mean, these folks are preying on people who either are trusting, or again, it's this time of year and they're expecting mom or dad or the kids to send a gift. And so that really leaves them wide open.
Oh, it really does. And isn't it such a jerk move by a scammer to use holiday and Christmas presents, those things at that special time of the year? Maybe somebody's expecting Christmas cookies from their aunt or a present, or, we all think about Christmas time coming up. They're using that when people's guard is down and trying to get that private information so they can exploit them and continue to take advantage of and scam them. So it's nothing short of evil. So people really need to be on the lookout for that. I'd also just, Jeff, encourage people, if they have folks in their life that they know, whether it's a neighbor, somebody at church or in their community, be somebody that can be their sounding board too. If they say, look, I got this, that there's something waiting for me, I just have to fill this out. Be that person, that neighbor that somebody might come to say, is that real? I know I did that for my grandpa. He asked, is this really real? Should I worry about this? I looked at it and I said, that's absolutely a scam. But sometimes it just helps to have somebody else helping with that. And my office will do that too. If people have questions, they're always welcome to call.
More information, including how to contact the Consumer Protection Division online or by phone, is found at iowaattorneygeneral.gov. Coming up, converting uniquely Iowa products. You're listening to the Iowa Business Report.
Thanks for calling the Veteran Car Donation Program. How can I help you?
Can you come and pick up my car and give me that tax deduction I've heard all about?
Sure, we can pick it up in about 2 business days or less.
Call right now and donate your car to help our veterans. Call 800-695-0376. 800-695-0376. 800-695-0376. Call right now. 800-695-0376.
Do you know the signs of business fraud? Don't let bad actors catch you off guard. Stay vigilant for cases of imposter scams, financial fraud, business identity theft, and cyber attacks. It starts with recognition. Learn how to identify signs of fraud and where to report it. Visit sos.iowa.gov/protectyourbusiness to get started. This message is presented by the Iowa Secretary of State. Welcome back to the Iowa Business Report. I'm Jeff Stein. During our time at this year's Hawkeye Farm Show in late February, we reconnected with Ryan Baer. He and his wife Amanda are the founders of Century Farms Distillery in Spencer. And as you'll learn in this week's business profile, the business has grown a lot since our first conversation with him 3 years ago.
My wife and I are both engineers. We went to Iowa State and just took an interest after working in corn ethanol of how to turn corn into bourbon. I think Iowa, of course, being the corn state, and bourbon being made from corn just kind of seems like a natural thing. And, I'm not sure why Kentucky's a thing, but we're the corn state, so it seemed like a natural fit.
Takes a step, though, to make this a hobby, then a business, then a really growing business, and yours certainly has been growing since we first met.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the reason we come to farm shows like this, like the Hawkeye Farm Show, is the way we make our product. We always put the family's name on the side of each bottle who grew the corn used to make that bottle of bourbon. So we come to these because we want people to bring us corn from all over the state of Iowa and different states and make lots of different barrels of bourbon.
One of the unique niches, if you will, that you folks do, the ability for you to do business with a grower, but then the grower has a piece of the end product as well, and that seems to be very unique.
Yes, it is, and thanks for asking about that. So one of the ways we sell our product is we always put the family's biography on our website, and of course the name of our product is Century Farms Bourbon. You don't have to be a Century Farm, but a lot of times people are. And when you're a Century Farm, you may have 5 or 6 people who own a piece of that farm that have never stepped foot on the place. And what's unique about this product is this is a way to kind of engage the rest of those out-of-state family members that view the family farm more as a check that shows up in the mailbox twice a year. And this is a way to remind everybody that, that farm, that's the crucible. That's where every member of your family is from.
So the basic business model that you have is you need corn in order to make whiskey. And so you're able to strike a deal with some of these folks, but they get a little something too by being able to have private label product that is made from their particular crop.
That's right. The way this generally works is we buy the corn, we get a pro box, about 45 bushels. We'll make usually about 1,000, maybe 1,200 bottles of bourbon. And so we'll make 3 or 4 big barrels of bourbon. But, the thing we're after is we want people to write us a good story, lots of family photographs, things of that nature. But, yeah, we buy the corn. We ask them to buy 60 of the, roughly 1,000 or so bottles that we make. And, of course, if they want a custom label, something unique to give out to their friends and family, or if they have a business or an organization they want to promote, yeah, the custom labels are super fun.
That's the second line of business that I see. So, for example, as I'm here at your booth at the Hawkeye Farm Show, I see various labels. Some are for business, some are for nonprofit organizations, which I trust are used as fundraisers. So basically, if I wanted a case of Iowa Business Report brand whiskey to give to people, you'll set me up with that, and it's a pretty easy process. I don't have to be a grower. I can just be a regular business and have my own private label.
Yeah, and what's even more exciting about that is if you want it to be made from a particular state, a particular county, if you want to have a locality associated with your Pheasants Forever chapter or your business, or even your ag business, something that was grown with your particular hybrid, we probably already have a ready now barrel of bourbon ready to label up.
All I have to do is give you a logo, you put it on the label. A lot of the work is in the design of the label, etc., but for somebody who wants to have a unique premium for clients of a business at Christmas, etc., it doesn't take that much in terms of time or, frankly, cost, does it?
No, not at all. I mean, we essentially charge for the actual printing of the label and the graphic design, but after that, you can buy a single case or you can buy 10 cases, and in that way, it's highly customizable and something that isn't necessarily a huge investment.
And not to diminish products that you just might buy at the store, this really is something that people remember as opposed to buying a similar product that might have been made elsewhere and doesn't have the personal touch.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And so what this product is, if you think about it, is this is a tangible consumer product made with Iowa number 2 yellow corn, traceable to the family who grew that corn to make that bottle. It's very unique.
Tell us about your operation in Spencer. I think it's moved or evolved over time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has. As we are now, we operate 52 weeks a year. We grind 4 batches of corn every week. But the big thing we always want people to come see when they come visit us is if you bring us your corn, this is not deer sausage where you don't know whose deer you're eating. This is actually made with your corn.
What's the next 5 years?
Oh, I think the next 5 years are exciting. So we recently bought a 8,000 square foot warehouse. We're expanding our storage operations, and I look forward to bringing out progressively older and more exciting whiskey. So looking forward to it.
Ryan Baer of Century Farms Distillery in Spencer. More online at cfwhiskey.com. We connected at the Hawkeye Farm Show in Cedar Falls on Thursday, February 27th. And that brings us to the close of this week's program. We're back again next week at this same time. In the meantime, you can listen to all or part of today's program by going to totallyiowa.com and clicking on the radio programs link. Support for the Iowa Business Report comes from the Iowa Business Council, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization working to elevate Iowa's economy through leadership, research, and advocacy. Learn more and review the group's annual competitive dashboard report by going to iowabusinesscouncil.org. We welcome your comments. Send them by email to radio@totallyiowa.com. I'm Jeff Stein. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a prosperous week and a very happy Thanksgiving.
The Iowa Business Report is a copyrighted production of Totally Iowa Media, which is solely responsible for its content. For more, click on the radio programs button at totallyiowa.com.